In the city of Shaoxing, a poor farmer named Wang Agu, struggling to make ends meet, found himself working as a long-term servant in the home of the wealthy and cunning Li Guangyan. When they first met, Li Guangyan promised with a smile, "As long as you work well, I will give you the wages of a cow every year." This promise, like the warmth of spring sunshine, brightened Agu's otherwise bleak life. With renewed hope, Agu worked diligently for Li Guangyan, rain or shine. 19 years passed in the blink of an eye. Wang Agu's back had become hunched, his eyesight blurred, and his strength diminished. It was then that Li Guangyan revealed his true nature. Coldly, he said, "You've worked for me for 19 years. I promised you 1 pound of oil per year, so here are your 19 pounds. Take it and go." Shocked and devastated, Agu protested, "Master, you promised me 1 cow each year." But Li Guangyan denied it, and even the accountant backed him up. Alone and powerless, Agu had no choice but to leave, tears in his eyes, clutching tightly the 19 pounds of oil that symbolized his 19 years of toil. On the way home, Agu sat in a pavilion, overwhelmed with grief and anger. Su Wenchang happened to pass by and noticed Agu's distress. Concerned, he approached and asked what had happened. After hearing Agu's story, Su Wenchang furrowed his brow and came up with an idea. He decided to accompany Agu back to Li Guangyan's house to seek justice. When Li Guangyan saw Su Wenchang at his door, he was secretly alarmed. Aware that Su was a difficult person to deal with, Li forced a smile and welcomed him in. Su Wenchang got straight to the point. He explained that Agu wanted to start a small business and needed to borrow 3 taels of silver from Li Guangyan. Li Guangyan, feeling relieved that it was only 3 taels, thought little of the request. With Su Wenchang as the guarantor, he saw no risk. He generously replied, "With Mr. Su as a guarantee, there's no problem. Normally, I charge 1.2 taels of interest per year for a tael, but for I'll treat this as a special case. The interest will be 1 tael per 1 tael." Su Wenchang immediately wrote the IOU but didn't rush to let Li Guangyan give the money. Instead, he shifted the conversation to Agu's salary issue. "Since there is already an interest rate provided by you," he began, "Wang Agu has worked for you as a laborer for 19 years, and all he received was 19 pounds of oil without any interests. Surely this cannot be justified. I think it would be best to settle this matter first." When Li Guangyan heard this, he thought, how much could 19 pounds of oil really generate in interest? So he said casually, "All right, it's up to you. I'll pay him whatever you calculate." Su Wenchang then began to work with the abacus, moving the beads as he muttered to himself. In the first year, the wages are 1 pound. In the second year, interest is added to the 1 pound, and the total becomes 3 pounds. In the third year, principal and interest combined come to 7 pounds. In the fourth year, it's 15 pounds. With each click of the abacus beads, Li Guangyan's face darkened. After a while, Su Wenchang looked up and said, "Mr. Li, in 19 years, the total amount you owe is 524,287 pounds of oil. Please pay up." Li Guangyan was so shocked by the figure that he stood frozen, unable to respond. After a long pause, he finally began to plead, "Mr. Su, this is too much. I'd rather pay him back the wages of 19 cows." Su Wenchang turned to Agu and asked, "Agu, what do you think?" Agu replied humbly, "It's up to you, sir." Su Wenchang then addressed Li Guangyan with authority. "Mr. Li, if you are willing to pay the wages of 19 cows, considering the interest, it would amount to 524,287 cows. I'm here to settle this fairly. "Agu, show mercy to Mr. Li and forgive the interest." Li Guangyan, feeling like he had just narrowly escaped disaster, quickly handed over the wages for 19 cows. Agu, overwhelmed with emotion, accepted the silver and thanked Su Wenchang profusely before bowing deeply in gratitude. With a heart full of joy, Agu returned home to celebrate the new year. The brilliance of Su Wenchang's strategy lay in his clever application of Li Guangyan's own principle of interests. By calculating compound interest, he transformed the seemingly insignificant 19 pounds of oil into an astronomical amount, 524,287 pounds of oil. Treating Li with his own medicine made Li Guangyan realize that greed and cunning eventually lead to consequences. Listen to Sock Tales to learn the wisdom of life. Fortune rises from the heel.